So we haven't really jumped into the role-playing systems that Intrepid Studio has decided to kind of support or implement or just put in the game in general as part of the game in order to facilitate a fun role-playing environment. So I went to the wiki and I just pulled stuff up. Some of them are musical instruments that'll actually play some sort of a music in-game. I'm not sure to what depth they're going to go. Are you actually going to be able to like load a song or two up? Are you going to be able to like push buttons and make notes? You know, will you have to learn how to play a digital instrument? You know, I don't know, but it's really cool. The social animations, dancing, and emotes is always something we like to see. A couple MMOs do a really good job of having various emotes and dances, you know, and they just help fit certain situations and kind of make it feel alive. The chat bubbles are kind of cool, where they will actually pop up above your head. So instead of reading a chat in the bottom corner like this, you know, I can just watch it pop up and it's like I'm having an actual conversation. Those are nice. The roleplay specific items. So these are going to be items that are absolutely useless for anything other than role-playing. You know, a lot of times they'll be like, I guess kind of like the toys in WoW. Those weren't really used for role-playing. Those are more bragging rights. So maybe those are terrible. But like flowers or wedding rings or outfits that look neat but don't have any stats or bonuses to them. Those are cool. That's if you really get into it, right? Role-playing events and ceremonies such as weddings. Now that will be interesting. Like, do you have to marry another player? Or do you have to marry an NPC? So marrying an NPC seems like A+, but marrying another player, unless there are benefits, seems like a headache. I already have one wife. I don't need multiple. You know, and why haven't you been on it? You haven't been home in a week. You know, I don't... If I don't take out the digital trash, you know, I get PvP'd. I'm okay with that. You know, they can have that. So, Easter eggs out in the world, that seems like really cool. Just finding cool little hidden things here and there that you would be able to just kind of show off. You know, I think having cool little collectibles and things like that for your more of your PvE exploring or your role-playing exploring guys who like go out and maybe they find a quest line of a character in a back alley, and while maybe it doesn't give them any like stats or anything or equipment, maybe like they go through the whole thing and they get these cool things to display in their housing or their tavern or their what's it called, freehold, or maybe it gives them like a really fun title. You know, not all titles have to be like Dragon Slayer, Bringer of Death, Slayer of Evil, Evil Incarnate. You know, they don't all have to be like that. Like, it would be really fun if it was like Kicker of Chickens, if you've ever played Fable. Chicken Kicker. Or, you know, like Pie Goblin. Like, maybe there was a pie eating contest and it was a minigame. You know what I mean? Like, those I think breathe life and fun into an MMORPG's environment, its social system, its community. And I think it makes it fun for players. Like, you know, even if I was a roleplay heavy character, which I am, and I decided to go into a dungeon or a raid with friends or a guild or a group or whatever, if I was able to like throw on my Pie Goblin title just to flaunt it around, oh, I totally would. Right? Like, that would be a lot of fun. Social buildings provide spaces for parlor games, and we know that they was an extra thing on the Kickstarter. They reached a certain level, they hit the parlor games. Now, I will say that the social places, so the tavern, I really would like to see a write-up on what we know about the tavern, because the tavern was going to be that place to share and gather and tell stories while in game, and I thought I heard that you would be able to kind of have your mic open and talk a lot while you're in the tavern. So like you could hear chatter in the background, you could have it come to the forefront. I could be on this side of the tavern talking and maybe their volume's up higher because I'm right next to them, but in the distance I can hear people arguing or laughing or having fun, you know, and that would be obscene. That would be obscene might be the wrong word. Absurd? I don't know. That'd be fucking awesome, right? As I can't, my vocabulary won't work. I'm almost through this overly priced iced coffee I got on my walk this morning. That would be really fun. It would just breathe life into it. And to be honest with you, I could see myself taking a couple hours a day to go adventure and progress and do dungeons and advance my character and develop my skills and level up my skills, and then just go spend at the end of the night when like I'm not really in the position to play and like focus, but I'm in the position to be able to like come back to my computer and hang out and then go maybe fold laundry or hang out with the family or do something around the house like late at night, you know, when people are asleep. Maybe I can't focus and I got stuff to do for the next day, make kids lunches or whatever. Just chilling in the tavern. Like, okay, I did progress today. I'm going to chill in the tavern and see if anything fun happens. Play parlor game, shoot the shit, talk with friends. You know, I wonder how popular it will be. Because in my mind, that seems like a really fucking cool thing, right? But we have Discord, right? In Discord, you just invite people to Discord. And that gets a little weird having people on your Discord server, I guess. Because then it's outside of the game and you're in your Discord. You know, most of the time I play games, even if I'm not playing the same games, I'm in a Discord with friends. Even if I'm not talking a lot, I'm listening. So I wonder, for me, I think it would be a lot of fun to be in the tavern. Because it'd be people I would think a lot of people I don't know. I'm sure some people I do know. And it would just be a really cool experience and social setting. It'd be like going out to meet people without going out to meet people. You know, you don't need your vaccine card or a mask to go to the tavern, although that would be a funny event. Kind of like a satire on the society if you had, like, they made you wear a mask in the tavern. Sorry. I know that gets really political with people, but I don't know. I like satire. I think it's funny. But, you know, it could be really fun in parlor games and everything like that. Players can run a business based on role-playing. Ooh, here's a good one from, who's Jeffrey Bard? Lead game designer at Intrepid Studios. Was lead game designer. Does that mean he's not anymore? He writes lore. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see what he has to say. I'm going to read it in my best, like, an MMO lives and breathes on its community. And we don't really want to give a short shrift to any one of those types. Huh? Wait, hold on. An MMO lives and breathes on its community, and we don't really want to give a short shrift to any one of those types. I'm sorry? What types? Anyway, all of them are important. The RPers are important. You're damn right! The people who just want to hang out in the inn and talk are important. Agreed. They all add to the game, and so we want to make sure that we take care of all of them. You can run a business based on a role play. Yeah. Yes, you can. Alright, character naming. First name and optional surname. That is dope. Minimum length of 3 for a character name. Okay, that's fine. On a character sheet and optionally on the character website page. Okay, in-game a character's name is displayed above their head. This can be the first or the last name. Cool. The name of the character's guild is next to their name to give an indication of how much damage they've taken. That's really cool. And I kind of want to hovering on Now, it would be cool if something you could unlock, and don't flame me in the chat either on Twitch or on YouTube. But what if something like a $5 in the cash shop? Just think of ways for Intrepid to make a little bit more money. I know cash shops are the bane of your existence, but what if for like $5 or like and some quest lines, like either or, you could unlock different nameplates? I don't know, that'd be kind of neat. Another way to brag. You know, it doesn't really add to anything. It's merely cosmetic. And I think it's so dumb in cosmetic, just selling it for $5 and having a bunch of different types of nameplates, and then having like rare ones that you could unlock. Like, what if you bought a cool nameplate for $5, and then there were quests throughout the world, depending on whatever your nameplate is, whether free or bought, and as you completed the quest, your nameplate upgraded. And maybe they were just role-playing quests that didn't really matter, but like aesthetically you get this really fucking badass nameplate, or I don't know, maybe that's dumb because that adds something else that you have to render. If 50 people are fighting in a siege and each of them have a unique nameplate, would that fuck everything up? I don't know. It was just an idea. Summoner summons. Okay. Character sheet. What? Well, that's cool. It's kind of like your armory on WoW. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Housing. So decorate your housing. Now this is neat. I've never been big into like decorating my housing because unless you show it off to people, and even then, I'll tell you. Here's one to date myself. The only housing I ever put effort into was my house on Tibia. If you've never played Tibia, don't do it. If you have, I'm sorry, but we used to play a lot of it, and me and my friend group, and their houses were just little squares that you could walk in and out. People could walk in and out. And the way you decorated in those wasn't necessarily inherently just furniture. You decorated with rare drops. Like if I dropped a cool helmet, you know, in this game, obviously you have to look at the art style. It makes more sense. But if I dropped a helmet, it's art. It was sitting on the ground. So I could decorate with different things, and you could stack things on top of each other to get vibes. So you bragged it was a bragging point, not only because you had a house, but because you could decorate it with drops, and people were like, oh my god, he's got 20 of that, 0.5% drop off this rare monster. But it was just a lot of fun, and it also doubled as like a messy storage, so it's pretty cool. I don't know about, no, this would be neat, having like trophies and shit to put in your house, to be like, walk in the house, and you're like smoking a cigar or a pipe, and you're like, is that the head of the rare Kieran who only 0.1% drop of dropping his head? Or some shit like that. And you're like, yes, I was on a hunting trip with the boys out in the forest of Vera, and I slayed the beast with my mighty short bow, and there his head resides. Every day I look into his eyes, and I am able to remember that I am the apex predator. I don't know. All I can think of is that, what is a hammer barn? Not hammer barn, that's from Bluey. Hammer down, hammer, help me. The guy from Borderlands. That only reminds me of which I'm pretty sure he's based off, the guy from Jumanji. Anyway, that's the kind of right where I went to. So that's cool. Social organizations, also obviously popular. Something that they talked about here was that there could be like Thieves Guild, Adventurers Guild, Blacksmiths Guild, stuff like that. I don't know exactly how many or what, but you can go up. There's your Traders Guild, as a war with the Thieves Guild, so things like that. You can be part of that social organization. So right off the bat, you've got all these different things to level up. Sitting, leaning, bowing, dancing, hugging, emojis, music. Music within your tavern can be set by players. So you could walk into my tavern, and it's probably got to be DMCA free, so you'll have to do that. But imagine walking into your tavern, and it's like Taylor Swift or the Jonas Brothers. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm out. Like, you could just have a lot of fun with that, or like heavy metal. It just could be a lot of fun. Tavern games, we talked about that. That would be really cool. Mobile interface. Oh, we're not really caring about that. Now, I wonder if there'll be like a barbershop or anything where I can go change my hair. I don't want to change the structure, but change my hair. So there's like, the character creator we saw is fucking awesome. The character sheet will be neat. Marriages, they go into that. Families. Families are a means to relate up to 9 characters. You can belong to one family. Class-based quest lines. Wow. So, like, already just in this short video of, like, 12 to 15 minutes, however long this ends up being, some of this stuff really will impact the ability to roleplay. And it gives you really cool aesthetic rewards for roleplaying. It gives you actual, I would say, payoffs for roleplaying. If your tavern is upgraded because you're upgrading your cooking, and maybe you go out and you have a friend who crafts a bunch of stuff and you guys roleplay and you make a really badass tavern that's just a lot of fun, and more people come in because they really enjoy the atmosphere. You set the music the way you want. Now you got all these people coming in and out of your tavern, and they give you all these different items and events and social situations to really get into role-playing. So you could just hardcore PvP and PvE and have a blast, and then one night you're like, look guys, I'm just tired. I'm gonna go chill in someone's tavern and just basically have almost like a social D&D encounter where you're in there as your, who's one of my favorite? Gorthar Bloodhymn. He was the Rinkai Sentinel? Is that right? Bard and then tank. So Gorthar, and I can come up with some kind of random voice when he's kind of, it'd be stern, but it'd be kind of gruff, maybe, or deep and gruff, but he'd be boisterous too, so he'd kind of be loud, and he'd be, like this, maybe, I don't know, I'm very bad at voices, and then you just go in there and you start doing this thing, and you're like, good evening, fellow adventurers, for I am Gorthar Bloodhymn, and I am here to buy the next round on me, or some shit like that. I don't know, I'm very bad at voices, but you could go in there and just chill for the night, and have a lot of fun, and I think the fact that Intrepid Studios is mindful of that, and they know that RP, while in most MMOs is a smaller subsect, is a minority, if you will, in the player base and how people interact with the game. I believe that the world of Vera being so living and breathing, then Ashes of Creation, so Intrepid Studios, just putting a lot of these role-playing support in, just kind of incidentally. Like, I don't believe they obviously take extra work, but I don't know if it's as hard as putting in other systems, but they're still putting them in. They're still putting the ability in here. And I think by just putting all of this in there and supporting a small crowd, I think it's just going to make a big difference. Imagine pulling role players from other games because they don't necessarily support as much. Or maybe it's just a lot more fun because the world of Vera is that much more intense. Like, imagine being in the tavern and then we saw the dynamic weather system. A storm breaks out, thunder and lightning, and wind, and somebody opens the door, and you look out, and you hear like the boom, and you see like a flash of lightning on a driving rain, and they walk in your tavern. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That would be great. So yeah, I'm really excited about role playing in general on Ashes of Era. I've talked about it various times. I'm not going to go too into that anymore. But just going through this list, and obviously we just got out of Alpha 1 where none of this was important at all. To be honest with you, the role playing stuff's probably not even important in Alpha 2. We probably won't see that come in until the betas, and if I had to guess, like Beta 2? Because role playing, while I don't know if they're as complicated systems, it just feels like something that might not be around. Maybe we do get parlor games in Alpha 1. I'm sorry. Maybe we do get parlor games in Alpha 2 or Beta 1. But, I could see these kind of being the icing at the end, like the betas for sure, maybe Beta 2. But the fact that they're still doing them and that they're incidentally, with all their other systems, making a great game, supporting role-playing, I think it could be a really cool way to bring people in. And now I may be wrong, and some people may fight me on this, but I think role players, when they get attached to your game, are more die-hard and loyal to your brand and your IP than your typical just, I'm playing the next hot PvP situation, or I'm playing the next hot PvE situation, or, oh, well, there's a bug that makes PvE or PvP at the in-game unbalanced. Fuck this game, I'm going back to WoW. Role players don't usually do that. Yeah, so, I don't know. I just thought I'd do this real quick. I always talk about role-playing, but we haven't actually gone through this list before, so I wanted to throw together a quick one to kind of go over some of the systems that they have, how I think the systems are going to be really fun and support role-playing again. And just, I thought you might want to take a look at it. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for hanging around. And thanks for stopping by.